Joe back at it again, CodingPhase.com. Your boy's back and I done did it again one more time. Guys, what's really good? Let me know what you guys is doing this weekend, what you guys have worked on, what are your plans for this week. Okay, let's do it. Let's talk. Okay, it's grind season. Okay, we're going to 2017 days. Yeah, man. Shout out to every single one of you guys that pop up in my live streams that get to hang out with me. I really appreciate it. You guys are the best. You guys are the reason that I'm still doing this, 8 years later, which is kind of crazy to say. We got 8 years doing this thing, popping up live, doing the videos for YouTube, etc. Like, shit, it's been a long time. Okay, and I'm happy that a lot of you guys have stuck with me and have shown me support and just always bring my energy up, man. That's why I'm here. When is the trading course coming out? Right now I had to put it on hold, to be honest with you, Michelle. I had to put it on hold for a little bit just because I have a couple of projects that I gotta get done first, and I want to knock those out beforehand. I already started it. It's just right now, um, I'm like taking a little break from it because I want to knock out a couple of things. Like yesterday, by the way, for anybody that's in the Profitable Developer course who took that course and have pre-ordered it, have purchased it, go check out 2 new videos that I added to it last night. Amazing, okay? Amazing videos. I'm just giving so much game inside of that course, guys. Go check it out. I'm being honest. Like, this is probably the most powerful course that I created because I'm giving you guys all of the game on how you could go in, literally either freelance locally in your local area, freelance online, right? And even build digital products. What I have here on CodingPhase.com is a mixture between services and digital products. I'm teaching you the whole game. How I was able to go in and make millions of dollars off this, right? And build something from nothing, okay? How I'm able to do that, I'm giving you the whole game. I'm not even freaking, doing anything that's like, hey, this is old, this is like how I used to do it. No, this is how I do it right now. So go check that out, right? So I've been working on that, Michelle, and right now I'm getting prepared to work on a new course for HTML emails. Doing it, the most modern ways, which is using AI, which I recommend for every single one of you guys to learn how to do it that way. So, and technically what it is I'm basically rebuilding the responsive HTML course, and then we're also adding AI features to it, right? Meaning that how you go in and use AI to be able to build HTML emails. Anybody that has done HTML emails know that it's not the most fun thing to do in a sense, right? Because it's like tables, you get stuck sometimes things don't look the right way how it's supposed to. And with AI, you get through the boring parts and you get to focus on the content and the actual email itself, which is fun. Okay, we're talking about ghost tables, we're talking about making the emails fluid. For a long time, but we've been talking about responsive emails, right? Right now, what you really want to do is create a hybrid slash fluid email. That way it's gonna go and work for every single platform. So we cover that. I'm also giving you guys like my own prompts, and on top of that, I'm giving you guys my own rules for creating HTML emails. Okay, all of the courses from now on codingphase.com, they're gonna be integrating AI. From this moment on, is everything's gonna be integrated into AI, and I'm gonna be showing you guys that whole way of doing it. Okay, now you might say, why Well, we are at a point where if you don't know how to use AI and this AI tools, you're at a disadvantage. That's just the facts. Employers know that, what used to take you 2 days, 3 days, you could knock it out in an hour or two. Okay? That's just the facts. So if you show up and be like, man, I need a week for this, they already know, all right, this guy's not keeping up. Okay? And even if you do get hired and get a position, right, there's going to be a guy in the team that's going to be embarrassing you every single day because he knows how to use these tools. And if you don't know how to use them and integrate it to your workflow, then it's just going to be bad. You're not producing as much as the next guy. Okay, so don't expect a promotion, and don't expect sometimes if it's a contract job that they're going to give you a full term or full-time position, because you're just not really producing as much as you should. Okay, there's a lot of cool things that's coming with AI, and we got to be part of it. We can't get left behind. I've been using AI for about almost a year and a half, 2 years for all of my projects. Now, of course, you know how I do things, right? On CodingPhase, we don't start teaching things until the jobs require it. Okay, that's just the facts. All right, I just seen an article recently that Facebook, right, Meta, is actually going to be testing out the idea of doing interviews instead of doing it with like leak code questions, algorithm questions. What they're going to be doing is testing people with AI on how they're able to solve their problem. Okay, because that's how modern development is going to be done. So instead of you going in and just having a whiteboard interview, even though some people are still having those type of interviews right now, because it takes a little bit of time for that to reflect through the whole industry, but this is where it's going, guys. Okay, instead of you going in and having to do a whiteboard or doing algorithms or having a Zoom call where you're just showing your code how you're gonna solve this algorithm, now what they're really going for is, hey, here's a problem, here's a situation, how will you solve this? And it's okay to use AI tools. So from there, how will you prompt something like Cursor or prompt Claude Code, right, or even ChatGPT, to be able to find the issue and find the problem, solve it, and what will be like the best way of doing that. Okay, and you might say, well, isn't that cheating? Why would they do that? Well, the truth is that algorithm questions really don't tell you anything about the developer. Okay, I'll give you an example. If, let's say, they give you a test assessment, and the test assessment has a bug on a React form. Okay, now the bug itself, no one knows what the bug is, right? But it basically tells you, hey, we're basically trying to load up this component and it's giving you some uncaught type error or something like that. Or maybe it's doing a post request but something is breaking. How will you solve that? The only way you could tell someone on how you will solve this is by actually debugging the code, right? Being able to understand how to actually, like, what's the steps of building the application, right? For example, I will go in and say, okay, cool, let me check on the front end, see if anything is going on in the front end as far as like the components. Is everything being loaded? Is there an issue in syntax somewhere? Are we passing the wrong variable? Are we targeting the wrong API route? If it's not there, then from there must be somewhere in the back end, right? The average junior developer that's coming straight out of college might not know that, okay? Most people that know this are people that actually have built applications. You know exactly how to solve a problem like that. And by using AI, speeds up the process of you having to go in and type everything. Because the typing part is not what's important. You know how sometimes people be like, man, well, I could type, 100 words per minute. That shit's irrelevant now. That skill is irrelevant. You don't need to know how to type 100 characters in freaking 1 minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a good test. And even with algorithms, that's not a good test either, because it just doesn't show if this person is going to be able to do the job. Okay, so now we're seeing this shift of companies that are understanding, like, hey, what we want is people that can produce. Okay, people that can produce, and it's always been like that. But usually, companies like Google, they will put in that big wall in front of you where they will say, well, can you answer these riddles, and not be nervous enough to go, have your mind blank. Because a lot of people, they go in, they study elite code, they study algorithms, and then when they get to the interview, their mind goes blank, even though they've done the same problem a million times. And it's because you get nervous, and that's like human nature. That's normal. But then you miss out on a great engineer that maybe is nervous at the time because of the interview process. So now they're realizing, you know what? There's better ways to interview someone and see if they're qualified for these positions. That's going to spread out through the industry. So what do I do at CodingPhase.com? I look at what's going on in the industry. I look at what's going to give you an edge, and we focus on those things. Okay? There's a lot of people that's still fighting AI, still fighting not having to use the tools. Sometimes some developers don't understand the workflow of how to use AI for building software right now. Because they have a different way of thinking. They start working on an application a certain type of way. They have their own ways of coding, right? And they're fighting it. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna fight it. We're gonna go in and go with it. Okay. So yeah, man. Shout out to everybody in here. Thank you for leaving a comment. There's 50 people in here. Please, guys, leave a comment here on the chat. Just say hi. Just say, hey, I'm here, Joe. It really means a lot when you guys, leave a message and I get to see it. It just gives me motivation, guys. Understand this. This is not easy to do this for 8 years. Continue doing it again. The motivation comes from you guys. Okay, that's how I'm able to continue to do this, and continue to work on all of the things that I work on. And it's really just from you guys. Okay, I know even like yesterday I dropped a video about a tool for HTML email developers, and I don't know, we got maybe the day before, because yesterday I dropped the ChatGPT video. The day before I dropped a couple of other videos, another video which was for HTML email tool to check out the CSS properties, and that shit got like two comments, guys, with like 200, 500 people that watched the video. The ChatGPT video is about to have like 1,000 something. Guys, if you don't give me the motivation, I don't know how I can continue doing this for another 5 more years. You get what I'm saying? So it's on you guys if you enjoy my content. It's on you guys if you like seeing me here. If you don't like seeing me here, don't leave a comment, so I could get demotivated and be like, yo, you know what? I don't want to do this shit. But if you want to see me and continue seeing me here, motivate me. Show me some love, man. You have no idea how good it feels when somebody says, hey, Joe, I watched the video. Or, hey, Joe, they leave a comment about the topic itself. For whatever reason, I don't know why, maybe I do this YouTube shit wrong, right? Because sometimes I'll be seeing some videos that provide no value, have no fucking content that could help people out, and that shit has fucking 500, 1,000 comments, and I'm like, damn, I know I provide value. Why I'm getting 3, 4 comments? Do I have the laziest community, or do I just have random people that just watch the videos and don't really care about the video? So you get what I'm saying? So please show me some love, man. You guys are my motivation. You guys are the reason why I still come up and pop up in here, man. Let me see. Reading through here. I finished my transactional promo newsletter email portfolio. I'm almost done with the landing page. I'm just confused on how to add campaigns from Klaviyo to my portfolio. Well, what you want to do is you could take screenshots of it. When you create a campaign, the campaign, you can't really show the whole campaign unless you create a page for it and have a case study. Okay? Like it's very, very hard for you to be able to demonstrate that without having images or having a video or having something. You get what I'm saying? Like without that, it's gonna be difficult for you to be able to show that to anyone. But what the campaign does is, right, it allows you to be able to know what the hell you're talking about. I'll give you an example. When you show up to an interview, or let's say you apply to a job, it says email marketing specialist, it says email developer, etc. Right? When you apply to that position, they'll look through your resume, they'll see all the stuff that you have, right? They'll go to your portfolio, they'll look at the work that you have there, and they'll be like, okay, cool, interesting. Let's give this guy a call, or let's give this girl a call. Now they're gonna interview you, right? In the interview process, they're gonna ask you, what have you done professionally? What type of campaigns have you done? What are the steps that you would take to A and B test a campaign? Guess what? If you only did the HTML emails, all you're gonna be able to say was like, well, I did the email, and yeah, as you can see, it's in my portfolio. Yeah, but have you ever set up a campaign? Do you know how to work with some of these email providers, right? Have you ever worked with Klaviyo? Have you ever worked with MailChimp? Have you ever worked with something like Salesforce Marketing Cloud? Have you ever worked with HubSpot? Have you ever worked with Zoho? And when they ask you that, if you actually have built a campaign, you could continue the conversation. You could say, well, I haven't worked with Salesforce. I've actually worked with Klaviyo, and I've set up campaigns for a sneaker shop. Be able to go in and create this campaign that it was to warm up the customers, create multiple email newsletters, right? Or email sequences. And then from there, set up a date where we have multiple days before the date of the launch of this new sneaker. I created those campaigns. I created the sequence. I've set up the segmentation. You get what I'm saying? Like now we're talking the language, right? We're talking the language of, hey, I know what the hell I'm doing. But if you show up to the interview, you already got the opportunity, which is we're giving you the benefit of the doubt that you know how to do this. But now let's go in and talk about what you have done. That's what the campaign is really for. So you could actually explain how you will go in and set up these campaigns. And you can break down like, hey, I haven't worked with Salesforce Marketing Cloud, but I've worked with Klaviyo, and I was able to set up this campaign, set up this email sequences. We was able to set up SMS text messages. We was able to build a landing page that captures the emails. After capturing the emails, we were able to put it into the right category or segmentation, depending on where the user came from, what platform. Was it from Instagram? Was it from Facebook? Was it from TikTok? You get what I'm saying? You're talking the language, right? You know what you're doing. It's the same thing for a front developer, full stack developer. When you have those projects in your portfolio, that's your first step. That's the, hey, look, I can do this. But on the interview itself, they're gonna ask you little questions, little gotchas, like, hey, do you know about Can-Am spam rules? Do you know about different type of databases? Do you know how to work with APIs? What APIs have you worked on? What type of projects have you built with based on an API? You get what I'm saying? This is shit that they're gonna ask you about. Of course, it depends on the job role, right? For example, you're applying as a React developer. They're gonna ask you, how do you use state management? What do you use? What type of packages do you use? Do you use Redux? Do you use some of the new and latest ones that they have now? Have you ever, let's say you are a Node.js or Next.js developer, have you ever used Prisma? Just like little things that are gotchas of like, People are fucking crazy. It's a yellow fucking light. This guy wants me to run the red light. These people are crazy. Bro, it's a yellow light. I don't know what he want from me. I'm about to fucking spaz out. Well, I can't stand it here. Sometimes, this is the problem with people in Florida. People come in and they start fucking, when you drive, this is one thing I'm going to teach anybody that's here watching. When you drive, don't drive behind somebody's ass. Because people have to go in and you have to give the person, whoever's in front of you and whoever's behind you, you have to have 10 feet away from them. Don't be eating people's, you know what I mean, behind. Don't be right behind them. Because if the light changes, goes to yellow, goes to red, you have to give yourself in a space so you could go in and slow down. You get what I'm saying? And of course, drive looking at the road. As you can see, I'm talking to you guys, but I'm not looking at the phone. I'm looking at the road. This is how you drive. Yo, people are wild out here, man. Yeah, because they think, sometimes people think like if you go behind a person, try to put pressure on them, they're gonna go faster. Bro, don't do that. That's a guaranteed accident. It's crazy. And then they look at you like you're the wrong one for not going faster on a yellow light that's about to turn red. Nah, bro. The yellow light's supposed to be for you to slow down. You're supposed to take that as a cue. You might not make it. So at that point, you got to slow down. Shit, bro. I swear to God, man. And sometimes you need a lot of patience with people, bro. That's why I don't even like to go outside, man. Sometimes I be thinking to myself, like, if I go outside, what am I going to find outside? I'm going to find trouble. I'm going to find somebody going to get me pissed off. I got to deal with people. Like, I just want to mind my own business, Yeah, this dude about to he had to swerve to the side. It's like, bro, why are you driving fucking on my ass when you know there's a yellow light? What is wrong with you? People are crazy. And then he comes to the side of my window looking at me like, I'm like, no, stupid. What are you doing? Give yourself space. Don't be behind people, especially when you see it's a yellow light. You don't know what that person's gonna do. He's not gonna run that red light just so you could go in and you get the first spot on the light. People are stupid, man. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, man. When it comes to like the interviews, man, you have to make sure that you show that you're qualified. And the only way to do that is, even if you've never had work experience, is by simulating that, right? That's what we do at CodingPhase.com. By the way, links in the description. You got 50% off. Guys, please do not miss this sale. This is a summer sale. I extended it from July all the way to August to give you guys time. I want you guys to come to CodingPhase. I want you guys to come in. There's a lot of you guys that's not getting results because you're missing the most important things, which is what are the stuff that you need to get hired. It's not just about learning how to code. You can learn how to code anywhere. If you say, Joe, I just want to learn how to code as a hobby, bro, go on YouTube, right? Everyone here can teach you just the basics, foundation of it. You want to get a job, you need to go in and know the strategies to get a job. You need to go in and build projects to simulate what you're going to be doing on the job. That's what's going to get you hired. Knowing how to code is not what gets you hired. Knowing how to produce and hit the ground running on Monday, if they give you an opportunity, that's what's going to get you hired. And you have to demonstrate that. It's not just learning how to code. I've been telling you guys that for years. There's a reason why when you go to CodingPhase.com and you check out the links on the description and you go through the different sections there, you'll see the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame are testimonials from real students, real people that have actually done the work. Okay? Real people that have actually done the work, have actually taken the courses on CodingPhase, have actually followed what I told them, and they've gotten results. Anywhere that you see anything about CodingPhase and says anything negative about CodingPhase, they've never done the work. They've never done anything. You get what I'm saying? Because this is the stuff, and it kind of sucks sometimes. You know, you build a business, you do all the stuff, you bust your ass, right, to make sure you give the best quality of work and give all the stuff for your customers. But sometimes there's people that literally, they think just because they purchase something, it's a guarantee that they're gonna get results. Just because they purchased it. The purchasing price is your first step. That's the step of you paying for something that you're gonna use. If you're paying for something that you're not gonna use, right? Understand, you're not gonna become a developer. You're not gonna get hired. This is not a magic wand, right? One thing that I try to keep it in this channel is I try to keep it real with you guys. I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. I'm not gonna go in and tell you, hey guys, just because you signed up, you're gonna make $100,000 on your first job. I'm not gonna bullshit you and tell you, hey man, just because you signed up, you got a guaranteed job. I'm not gonna do that. You have to do the work, and everyone's journey is completely different. I give you a great example. There's this kid in CodingPhase.com, right? The platform. Recently, right? He came in around May, right? He came in around May, late April. He's a teacher. He's interested in becoming a developer. And he's like, yo, this is something that I could do, right? I've been following you on YouTube. I've been seeing, what you've been talking about. Let me give this a shot, right? In the beginning, he was kind of busy because there's things that happen in life, stuff that goes on. He was a little bit busy. Guess what? He has a deadline by the time of June that he has to decide if he's going to come back to school and be a teacher. Because, being a teacher, you have to sign a contract, right? So he's actually a school teacher. Now, he has to sign a contract, right? He comes back in and he's like, okay, I'm going to get my shit together. I'm going to go through all the stuff. I'm going to put myself out there, build my portfolio, build my projects. The dude came in, bro, I'm not even going to lie. In a month, he knocked everything out. But guess what? It was a little bit too late. He had to come in and sign his contract because he didn't know if he was going to get an offer, right? Guess what? He knocked everything out in June, and in July, he got an offer. That means that by him doing all the work, everything that he needed to do, he got it done within a month. Now, some of you guys might say, this is bullshit, right? This is a lie, right? This is some shit Joe's making up. No, if you're in the CodingPhase accountability meetings, you know who I'm talking about. Guess what? He got an offer, but he already signed a contract to be a teacher, right? So he has to run this year because, there's certain rules. He just can't cancel his contract as a teacher when he already signed it. He got a retirement. He got all the stuff that he could get. And maybe in the future, he might want to come back and become a teacher again. You never know, or maybe a college professor. So he has to leave in a good term. So he can't just cancel everything just because he got an offer as an email developer, as a developer, right? But I'm telling you guys this story because, as you can see, his journey was within 2-3 months, he was already getting an offer, right? Now, there's somebody else that might be out here that might come to CodingPhase and they'll be like, well, I'll sign up. And again, and going back to the same story, This individual declined the offer. Declined the offer because he can't do the work, right? So mind you, why some people might be struggling to find a job, this guy's like, oh shit, in a month and a half, I got it done, got a job offer, and now I'm declining because I'll do this next year. Which already confirmed to him, if he could get a job now, hey, I ain't worried about it. I could get a job next year too, when I finish my contract as a teacher. Which now allows him to go in and be more confident, be like, oh shit, now I'm good. I understand what I gotta do. So this whole year, what he's doing is learning front-end, going deeper into front-end development, going deeper into back-end development, and getting, ready for those type of roles and for email developer roles. Right? He's following the curriculum that we have on CodingPhase.com. Okay? Now, with that being said, there might be somebody that comes in, even today, somebody's watching me right now and be like, damn, I should get my shit together. Let me go test this out. Let me go and go to CodingPhase and sign up, right? And you sign up, but you don't do the work. You don't do the courses. You don't go to the meetings, right? You don't send me your projects so I could validate them and tell you what to fix, right? What to add to them. And then you show up 6 months later and be like, man, this was bullshit. I never really get no results. We've never seen you. You've never contacted me one time. We've never seen your work. You can't just sign up for something and expect a magic wand to just go in and make you a developer. It doesn't work like that. There are steps to this. You got to first learn the skill. You got to then from there test yourself by building a project yourself. Not the projects that we do together. You got to test yourself building your own project. Then after that, you got to go in, follow the curriculum, go in, build the projects that I give you so you could add it to your portfolio. After that, build your portfolio, right? I tell you, build it from a template so it could look good. And then from there, you need to apply to the jobs. Guess what? The first interview, the second interview, you most likely not going to get a job because you don't know how the interview process is. Now your next step is you come back to the accountability meeting and you come back and share what happened in the interview. What were the things that they asked you that made you nervous? You didn't know how to answer this. You didn't know how to answer that. Guess what? That's what I'm there for. Now I come in and I help you out and tell you, hey man, this is how you got to answer that question. Hey man, this is how you got to go in and prepare for the next interview. Hey, here's some resources that you should go over so you could go and make sure that everything goes smooth for the next one. And guess what? Your third, your fourth interview, now you got a job offer. It's not about just signing up and taking a course. There's people that have right now 50,000 courses on Udemy and they can't get a job. It's not about learning how to code. It's about knowing how to do something that is required for the job. If I'm hiring, I give you a great example. If I'm hiring someone, it's an e-commerce company, right? We sell products online, okay? And I'm hiring someone to become, let's say, a product editor or webmaster or content editor or even front-end developer or even back-end developer, but you have zero knowledge of e-commerce. You have zero knowledge of e-commerce. You know how to code, but you have zero knowledge of e-commerce. Okay? You don't know how e-commerce works, how there's a product page, how there's a landing page where, people go to from ads, from Google ads, from TikTok ads, land on that page, how Facebook pixels, TikTok pixels get triggered, right? How Google Analytics is supposed to fire when, somebody goes to the page and there's a page view, right? How we retarget those people from that came to the website and signed up to the website, added it to the cart. After adding it to the cart, they never purchased anything. You don't understand how this shit works. You don't understand the industry. You could know how to code, but if you don't know how this industry works, how these applications actually work, what are the steps that you got to do for you to actually make money as a business, right? I can't hire you. Now, you know who could hire you? You got companies like Google, Facebook, you know, Netflix. Those companies got the budget to go and hire junior developers that have no idea what they're doing, right? But they know how to code, and logically they understand how to break down problems. That's why algorithms are good for the interviews. That's not good for small and medium-sized businesses. We don't have the budget to go in and mold somebody into the type of developer that we want. No, we don't have the budget. We have the budget to hire somebody and give them 2-3 weeks so they could understand the code base and then start performing after that. We don't have 6 months to go in and hire someone that we're going to have a mentor, teach them how these applications work, teach them how documentation works, teach them how to get it works and repos and, you know, pull requests. We don't have time to do that shit. They have the budget to pay you so you could produce. And that's where most people mess up at. When you go everywhere else to try to learn how to code, they're teaching you how to learn how to code, right? They're teaching you the ABCs. They're not teaching you the work that you're going to do at the job. That's what gets you hired. That's why people are not getting hired right now. When you go to all of these random platforms, you don't know how to fucking do the job. That's the facts. I keep seeing so many people that they're like, man, I'm applying to this job, I'm not even getting a call. You know what that's happening? Guess what? It's the actual economy. The economy right now is not in the best place. So right now, companies are only giving opportunities to people that look like they're already professionals. And that's what we do at CodingPhase. I mean, let's compare this, guys. I know there's people that have a year right now applying to jobs and haven't gotten one interview. Do you understand that? Imagine you have a whole year on Udemy. You have a whole year on YouTube. Then from there, you go to a 3 months to 6 months boot camp online. Now you paid $10,000 and maybe you didn't pay it completely. Now you're doing payments, you know, $250, $300 a month. And you can't even get an interview? That tells you exactly how much prepared you are. You're not ready for the game. A Wild Moose says, that's me right now. I'm sorry you're going through that, bro. But the fact is, you might know how to code, but you might not have the things that's going to, you know, give you even an interview. If you can't even catch an interview, that's the red flag number one. Now, if you're able to get interviews, that validates the work that you have done, okay? In whatever you're presenting to these companies. But now you got to work on how do you make sure that when they see you, they know this is the guy for us. You understand? So if you're in the process of applying to jobs, and you're not even getting a call back, you're not even getting an interview, you need to come to CodingPhase. Ain't no way around it. Because now you're just waiting for a ticket, a lottery ticket. We can't live our lives on maybe something good will happen to me one day. I'm telling you guys right now, as someone that I'm constantly in an uphill battle, bro, don't expect shit that's good that's going to come to your life. You have to work towards it. It's going to constantly be like this. I'm telling you right now, if you have this mindset of just, man, I'm just a positive person, you have to think negatively. And you got to think negatively because when you think positive all the time and like, shit is going to come to me, you don't get shit done how you're supposed to. And you're expecting the universe to come and leave this opportunity in your lap. And I'm telling you, life doesn't work like that. If you're here and you're watching me, you're one of me. You're one of us. Where we got to work towards everything that we fucking want. Okay? There's people out there that for some reason, I don't know how, everything just flows. Right? They come in and be like, well, I was working as an accounting. I went to this a random boot camp one day, and shit, I just saw this thing, and man, I just decided I'm gonna go, and you know what? Boom. Next thing I know, I popped up, and shit, I'm at Google now. Shit, I did all this shit in 6 months, right? That's their story. That hasn't been my story. That has been your story. So you have to start going in and start planning your life this way. Not to be just negative and be like, oh man, nothing good ever happens to me. No, it's just don't expect it. And expect that the shit's gonna go wrong. And you have to go in and fight through it and go to the next stage. Don't expect that you signed up for a boot camp and you're just gonna get a job. Don't expect that. Don't expect that you took a one online course and you're like, well, I tried this one online course and this is gonna guarantee me. Don't expect that. Expect the worst, right? So when good things come, you'll be like, oh shit, I wasn't even expecting this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's how I live my life, right? I wasn't even expecting to be where I'm at right now in life, right? We have my own house, got four kids, got a nice car, freaking travel, you know, all through the United States, fucking take care of my family, you know what I mean? I have my own business. I wasn't expecting none of this shit. You know what I came into the game with? This mindset. If I'm able to get $50,000 a year, I'm good. I'm doing way better than how I was doing or how my mom was doing raising us, right? That's my mindset. And then as new things come, I'm fighting for my life. I'm fighting to push forward. I'm fighting to get a job. I'm fighting to you know, think of ideas, build a business, right? I'm fighting to continue doing everything that I do. And I just continue fighting and keep pushing. But if I put myself in this mindset of, man, good things is gonna come my way, bro, I'm telling you right now, that shit is not gonna happen because it's gonna make you lazy and it's gonna make you think like it's gonna come by me just working hard. It doesn't work like that. You gotta work towards your goals. And if you're in a position right now where you wanna make this shit happen, again, I'm not a guru. I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm not fucking a guy that has a magic and I could just go in and make everything happen for you, right? I'm a guy that has been in your position and I could tell you this way how we do things on CodingPhase.com is the way how you got to do it. You got to go in, get your first entry-level job, right? Most people make from $30,000 to $50,000. That's the average American. Right? $30,000 to $50,000. And some people got college degrees and don't even make that much. If I'm able to come in and help you out, land a position, your first position, right? Where you're making $65,000 to $85,000, you're better off than 70% of everybody that's in the United States. And we're talking about a month to 3 months of just work. You know what I'm saying? A month to 3 months of work. Now, of course, everyone has their own journey. What might take one person 1 month to get a job might take you 3 to 4 months to get a job. That's just the facts. I'm not gonna bullshit you. But guess what? You're working towards your goal. That bullshit job you have today is not the same bullshit job you're gonna have next year. It's not the same bullshit job you're gonna have 6 months from now. You know what I'm saying? That bullshit pay that you get now is not the same thing that how it's gonna look 2-3 years from now. You already did something to change. You already did something to change your trajectory of where you see yourself and what you're gonna do. That's all I provide. I don't provide fucking bullshit. I don't provide, you know, the fucking course is gonna change your life. No, we provide strategies that is for people like you and me. Most of us, we're adults. You know, the youngest person here watching this might be 27 years old. This isn't for the papi mommy kids. This is for the adults that's switching careers, that's trying to do something better for themselves. We already know how this route goes. We already worked the bullshit jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've done every type of bullshit job you could think of, from being a cab driver, limousine driver, right? Being a fucking somebody that works in a warehouse, work with a high-low. I work retail on my feet for 8-9 hours, you know, telling people, hey, hi sir, what size do you wear? You want me to get you that extra shirt, 2XL? Oh, you're a large? Give me a second. Then there's no more here in the rack. I'll find you one in the back. And I got to go to the inventory in the back of Armani Exchange, look for the shirt, come back in, give this person his fucking thing, leave home with $11 an hour. We know how that shit works. We know how those bullshit jobs work, right? And you might say, well, Joe, I got a pretty decent job right now. I'm making $70,000. Now, it's a decent job because $70,000 is pretty good. But ask yourself how long it took you to make $70,000. You know, I had a conversation with one of the students on CodingPhase on an accountability meeting the other day on this topic. A dude was telling me, yeah, man, I'm making like 80 something right now at a job, da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool and all. But answer this. How long did it take you to make $80,000? Well, Joe, I got 12 years in this company. Now, what if I told you you could probably make the same amount or maybe $5,000 to $10,000 less with 3 months of training, probably let's say give you at the max 2 to 6 months of applying to jobs, right? And you make the same amount in less time than those 12 years. With the potential to make even more the following year. You got to ask yourself, is the job that you're in right now going to give you a $20,000 increase next year? Because it took you 12 years to make $80,000 to now be like, yeah, man, I'm making $80,000 at this company. It took you 12 fucking years of your life. That should be red flag number 1. That's red flag number 1. You got to connect how much time it takes you to generate a certain amount of income so all of this can make sense to you. For me, what made sense for me to go in this career and this route was very simple, right? I went to school for 2 years. 2 years in LaGuardia Community College. When I left out of there with a programming and systems, which is like almost like IT work type shit, they call it programming systems, but we only got one, and the teacher didn't even teach us. It's a community college. They don't care about you. They just want to eat your financial aid. You get what I'm saying? They know, they're like, yo, when you leave out of here, what job you gonna get with this bullshit, right? When I left out of there, I got a job for $45,000, IT support. One of the worst jobs I've ever had in my life. That's why I stay away from IT. I don't like that type of work. I don't like jobs where every day something's wrong. I like to use my brain for creativity. I like jobs to take my time to solve a problem. I don't like jobs where it's like every day you're like a fireman. There's a fire here, there's a fire there. The amount of stress that you get is ridiculous. I don't like to work in companies and in places like that. Now, when I left out of that bullshit job, and once I got that bullshit job, I realized that it took me 2 years to get this bullshit job for $45,000. And if I go and get my bachelor's degree, right, which is going to take me another 2 years, right, to get that other degree, then I could probably make $75,000. You know what I did? I said, hell no, I'm out of here. I went in, got into fucking web development, started learning with front end, right? I did a mistake, which is what I'm trying to save you guys. I spent a year learning how to code by myself at home with nobody, no help, no nothing. And when I went into the job market, I realized I still didn't know what job. I knew how to code, but I didn't know what to do in the job. And that's why I didn't get the position. So then from there, I started as a product editor, which I'm grateful that they gave me the opportunity, because that gave me the real life experience of what an e-commerce company does. how all of those things work. And that allowed me to get my next job 2-3 months later, right? As a front-end developer at an e-commerce company doing front-end development, right? So what took me 2 years to achieve, 2 years, right? Technically, actually took me 6 months to do in fucking web development. Remember what I told you. It took me a year to get a job as a developer. But that was because I didn't know what type of jobs I should apply to, what type of things I need in my portfolio. That's why it took me a year, because I'm just like learning how to code, just like most of you guys, like learning how to code online and learning from random fucking people. But technically, when I really started doing what I needed to do, once I knew what I needed to actually do to get the job, it really took me 6 months. 6 months of wasting time, and 6 months of me going in, actually like 2-3 months of me learning the skill, 2 months at an entry-level job, and then we add like another three months on getting the, working now as a front-end developer. So we could say it's under like 6 months, bro. But mind you, it took me 2 years to get a job that was $45,000. I got a degree, and I got my first job, $45,000, after 2 fucking years out of my life. That nobody's gonna give me that time back, right? No one's gonna fucking say, hey man, here's more money because you invested 2 years out of your life to get a degree, right? I went in, got into web development, and technically in under 6 months, I actually got the position that I wanted. And then from there, my life has been on a trajectory up. I can't say that for me doing IT work. I can't really say that if I would have continued that route. I would have been a good worker. I could have maybe be a cloud engineer or some shit like that and just be working for the rest of my life. But I wouldn't have the skills that I have today, which is all the things that I'm able to do for companies, I could do for myself. We are like a carpenter, right? As a developer, you're basically like a carpenter, okay? You're basically like a carpenter. You could work for a company building chairs. You can work for a company doing construction. You can work for a company building, high-end luxury furniture, okay? And you could work for yourself on the weekends. And you could build your own business. And you could now have your own construction company. And now you could have your own luxury furniture company. You get what I'm saying? That's the shit that I love about web development and what it has given me. And even now, with everything that's happening with AI, it shows me even the potential, how far we could even take this. I just created a new application, traderplanner.com. That's launched already. That's already there, okay? I did that within a month. Now I'm going to work on another application after this. I'm going to start promoting that website, getting that out there. Even if I go in, I'll give you an example. It took me a month to go and build that application using AI and with the knowledge and experience that I have as a developer. Even if I go in and I basically get 200 customers, which is not much, just 200, that's $2,000 extra every single month. I went in, built the application, built the product, promoted it, and I'm making $2,000 from that. What do I see the real potential in this? That application, if I get bored with it, at the least, I'll probably make $5,000, $7,000 a month from it. You know what I'm saying? That's using my knowledge as a web developer, using my experience of the type of applications that I built by hand, custom made, and then now using AI to expedite everything. I'm a carpenter that used to go in and use a saw machine and a hammer and a nail. And now I'm a carpenter that has automatic and automated fucking robot arms that come in and build the fucking chairs and the things that I need to build for my business to run. At the very least, right? I'll go in and make $5,000-$7,000 from this one website, one application. I don't think I could do that shit as an IT worker. I just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty about web development. That's the beauty about, being a software engineer. You could build products. It's the same thing that somebody does on Etsy. Right now on Etsy, you go search on Etsy, leather goods. I want you guys to sit down right now and think about this shit. If you don't know how to build anything, right? You don't know how to do any products, right? That's where the money is. The money is not in you trading your time for money. The money is, I have this soda. I got this formula for this soda, and I know how to get this bottle for cheap, and I'll sell it to you for $2. The money is not in, hey, I'm just going to work for my time, trade my time for money. The money is in actually going in and selling something. That's where, web development, software engineering, it really leads to, right? Because you're able to create something that's not there, right? And this is why people pay us a lot of money. These companies don't pay us a lot of money because we're like, oh, they're so smart, we just got to pay them that much. No, we're creating shit for them where they could go in and sell it and make money, millions of dollars. For a company to go in and justify paying 10 employees $100,000, they have to make at least $8 million. And that's profit. So when you go to a company and you go in and you start looking around, you say, well, there's 20 people in this office. On the next floor, there's another 30, 40 people. On top of that is the CFO, CEO, CTO, and those guys make way much more money than us. We just the grunt works that's here. And we're not even counting the other bullshit job people that's in there, the janitor, the lady that makes the sandwiches, the people that come and deliver the potato chips, come in and stock up your little coffee machine. How much money you think is coming into that company? For any business to stay in business, they need to make profit. And when you go in and you start adding 100, 200, 300, 500, 1,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 employees at some of these companies, bro, we're talking about a lot of money. That money's not coming from the trading of time. That money is coming from creating a product or service. We're the people that create it. When you realize that, when you realize and you understand that, you understand the power that you have in your hand. Right now, some of you guys will be happy with $100,000. If you make $100,000 a year, you'll be happy with that. You'll be like, damn, I think fucking pretty well for myself, right? The skills that you could get at CodingPhase.com and in web development in general, right? You could generate $100,000 for yourself. You could work at a company where they're paying you 80, 90, 100 more, right? And you could work your time there. And on the side, you could make $50,000 to $100,000 on your off time. That brings you to a different tax bracket. That brings you to a different space where you can now have income that you could save, that you could invest, that you could put in long-term investments, right? You could buy a whole Bitcoin. Yeah, people's over here fucking buying 0.00001 of a fucking Bitcoin. You could buy a whole Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now is gonna fucking explode. It's already over 100,000. That's just gonna be worth probably $500,000 or more. 20, 30 years from now, it's expected to be worth around $12 to $13 million, one Bitcoin. But guess what? If you're out here and you just fucking working those bare minimum jobs and you know, getting some bullshit, don't expect much. When you look back 10 years from now, don't say shit to yourself. Just be like, yeah, this is what I signed up for. You know what I'm saying? When you go in and you look back 10 years from now and you see yourself in that situation, you know exactly why you're there. You never took action. You never went in and made a change. You got to make a change. I'm making a change. Even to this day, I'm constantly making changes. Right now, I'm in the process of selling my house. I'm selling my house. I'm getting the fuck out of Florida pretty soon. I'm getting out of here, right? Florida was probably the worst mistake I've made in my life. But I could be one of those hard-headed people and be like, nah, let's just stay here. Let's continue. No. I go in and I look at my situation and I say, I got to change this. What are my problems? What are the things that's giving me headaches? What are the things that's giving me more gray hairs? Very simple. Living in Florida where there's constantly fucking hurricanes. There, you know, you buy a house, the insurance companies here don't like to cover for anything. So if something breaks, something gets fucked up, hurricane mess you up, now you're at $200,000, $300,000 out of your pocket. Money that you could use to buy another home, money that you could use to give yourself a nice vacation, money that you could use to get your dream car, right? I'm looking at my situation, I'm switching that. Florida is not a state to own anything when it's so unpredictable, right? Unless it's a business, right? You could own a property that's a business generating you income, but buying a home in Florida is a liability. I didn't know that. I mean, I know there's hurricanes and shit like, but I didn't know this shit was this bad here. So what I'm doing, I'm changing it. I'm selling my house, right? I probably won't own any more houses, just off the fact of like how, like I feel sick to my stomach just thinking about the amount of shit that I've been through. It's kind of traumatizing, to be honest with you. With all the shit that I've been through, like in a sense, I've been good and I've done pretty well for myself, but the amount of headaches that I've had and the setbacks that I keep having in Florida because of my home, it fucks up your mental, right? I'm like, yo, I don't want to own shit. I want to put everything in investments, and if I do own something, it's an investment property that's paying for itself. I don't want to own anything. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing that shit. I'm getting rid of my house, selling it for profit, taking that profit, leaving with that profit, holding it for a good opportunity when the market drops, putting that shit into the market. I might buy a Bitcoin or two, right? And just let it sit, leave it there. Investment, long-term investments. I'm not buying no properties right now. Because I'll give you an example. The amount of money that I've already spent in my property, my house, and all the stuff that I've gone through the last 5 years that I've lived here in Florida, bro, I could live in a $3 million home. No cap. I bought a 300 something thousand dollar home. Now it's worth 600, 700, right? But what I've paid, I could live in a $3 million home without owning it and not having to deal with it, but living in a $3 million fucking home, in a $5 million home, $10 million home. You get what I'm saying? And you might say, why would you do that? Well, it's much better than you having to fucking live in some shit that's just constantly giving you stress. It's just not worth it. The American dream, and I'm going to make a video about this probably somewhere this week. I'm going to create this because I want you guys to understand this. The American dream that we were sold on of like, man, you got to own a house, that shit doesn't make sense no more. Yes, Florida is a place to vacation, and I love Florida. But to own here, it's not worth it. But one thing, like I said, one thing that I learned over this time is that, bro, you could put your money in the market and almost damn near you could 10x your money. You could put money into a house and it's gonna take you years and years just to double it. And you might not even make your money back because of for whatever situation could happen. For you to get the most out of your home, which is a huge investment, you gotta go in and spend 20 to 30 years in that one home. Bro, you could go and invest $50,000. That $50,000 in 6 months is $100,000, or even more than that. Could be $500,000. You know what I'm saying? We got sold the dream. The dream, the American dream, we got sold the dream. It's not really like that. And it's cool because you live and you learn, right? I come from nothing, right? I basically